The following animation is provided to guide the officers and crew in the procedures to be expected when conducting ship-to-ship transfer operations. This animation can be used to prepare the vessel and crew for an upcoming STS operation. STS manoeuvring is a very demanding operation for vessels and crew. Bridge and engine room management is crucial for operational safety. It is important that all deck equipment, including cranes, winches and personal baskets, are in good order and tested prior to vessel arrival. Fendering. The mooring master should have advised the rigging plan, including the position and method of securing the fenders to the ships in advance of the operation. Messenger lines should be in good condition and strong enough for the operation. Extreme caution should be exercised when receiving the lines from the support craft. The crew may be passing the lines manually, so communication, clear hand signals to winch operators, and a slow and careful transfer is vital. Fender pennants should be led through fair leads in such a manner as to prevent chafing. Particular care should be taken to ensure that there are no obstructions, such as fish plates, which could chafe against the pennants. The fender mooring wire can be secured to the split drum or mooring bits. The backup pennant line should be secured to a separate bit and should only occupy the same bit if no other is available. Chain stoppers should be used when handling the wire moorings. The secondary fenders should be positioned in line with the shoulder and quarter of the manoeuvring vessel. The freeboard of the manoeuvring vessel will dictate the height at which they should be placed. Portable chocks may be necessary where there are no suitable fair leads or chocks at the optimum secondary fender position. The crew should be aware that the secondary fenders may weigh up to 1.5 tons, and they should take care when making them fast. 1.5 tons is equivalent to the weight of a small family car. Manoeuvring. The standard method of berthing is for the manoeuvring ship to approach the constant heading ship from the quarter on the side of berthing. On closer approach, the manoeuvring ship should parallel the course of the constant heading ship at a safe distance appropriate to the prevailing conditions. The manoeuvring ship reduces the distance by appropriate rudder and engine movements, with both ships proceeding at the same speed through the water. The manifold stations should be kept aligned with around a 3-meter offset during final approach until contact is made with all 4 fenders, normally with a slight angle. Mooring. 4 strong rope messengers, forward and aft, rope and chain stoppers, ready to use, heaving lines, fire axe, forward and aft, spare mooring tails, ready in case required, should be provided on each ship. Ships equipped with steel wire or high-modulus synthetic fibre mooring lines should fit soft rope tails to provide elasticity and permit cutting away in the event of emergency. For this reason, a sharp axe should be available at fore and aft mooring stations. Crew should be ready at their mooring stations. There should be sufficient crew to undertake the operation safely. When passing lines between ships, care should be exercised to avoid fouling the messengers and mooring lines on the fenders and anchor flukes. Avoid mixing wire and synthetic fibre moorings in the same lead. When mooring is underway, do not over-tighten the lines to allow for vessel rolling. When the ships are moored, The lines should be adjusted to share the load as the ships roll in the seaway. Spare lines should be ready in the event of any ropes breaking. After completion of mooring, there should be an offset between the manifolds to ensure that the minimum bend radius of the hose is not exceeded. After completion of the mooring operation, messengers should be made ready for immediate unmooring, so vessels are prepared in case of emergency. Hose handling. Exercise care when handling and supporting cargo hoses to avoid kinking or overstressing. Cargo hoses should be supported during the transfer by suitable strops or lifting bunds, never by ropes. Hoses should never be lifted using wire strops, as this will cut the rubber. If hoses are delivered in individual lengths, the hoses should be connected together in order to assemble one or more hose strings with sufficient length to deploy between the vessels. Ship's personnel should be provided with the means to connect the hose lengths together effectively using suitable new gaskets, nuts and bolts in every flange hole. The gaskets used at the ship's manifolds and between each hose should be made from a material suitable for use with the cargo to be transferred. Care should be taken to ensure that the hose connection flanges, particularly the flanges which are deployed outside the containment areas of both vessels, have been securely connected in a manner that will ensure they do not leak. QC-DC couplings may be used to connect the transfer hoses to the ship's manifold. The coupling provides a quick and effective method of making the connection. The hose flanges and quick connect-disconnect QC-DC couplings should be in good condition and properly secured to ensure leak-tight connections. Once the hoses are connected, if possible, test the hoses by pressurizing with compressed inert gas or air. In every case, start the cargo at a slow rate and increase the rate slowly until at maximum rate so as to detect any problems early and minimize any potential of a cargo leak. Personnel transfer. The crane hook may be connected to the basket's integral lifting sling, using a stinger or pennant to provide more clearance between the block and personnel. It is recommended that 2 taglines are secured to each basket. These should be attached at opposite ends of the base ring. A test or trial lift, or dummy lift, should be made to confirm that the transfer of personnel can be safely conducted under the prevailing conditions. Luggage and personnel effects should not be transferred at the same time as personnel. It is common practice to transfer luggage and small items of equipment during the test lift. It is important to determine the height of the hook over the main deck railing. A suitable landing area should be located on deck. The landing zone in this situation should be forward of the manifold. Hose draining. It is critical that the procedure for draining of the cargo hoses is such that any spillage of oil is avoided. When cargo transfer is completed, the manifold valves are shut, and commonly there are 2 methods of draining the hoses of remaining liquid. 1. Using compressed inert gas or air and blowing the lines clear. 2. Disconnecting the hose at the manifold of the higher vessel and lifting the hose to drain by gravity. To drain the hoses by gravity, after the manifolds are closed, the drain valves to a cargo tank or saval on the lower vessel are opened. The hose is disconnected from the upper vessel manifold and the hose lifted vertically into the air to allow all the liquid to drain into the lower vessel. When all the liquid is drained, the drain valve is closed and the hose is lowered. The hose is then disconnected and blanked before passing back to the support craft. When the hose is being drained by gravity, The open end should not be blanked or it will cause a vacuum and liquid will remain in the hose. It must be ensured that the inert gas pressure in the cargo tank receiving the drained oil is lowered to 0 or minimum pressure before opening the drain valves. Unmooring. When unmooring, the lines are singled up under the instructions of the mooring master. Connect the toggle pin to the bits. Install the toggle pin. Heave in on the messenger. Remove the double D tail from the bits. Slack the messenger. The toggle pin will free itself. The toggle will slip out and mooring lines run free. A slight angle is obtained between the two ships' headings and the daughter vessel uses her